We should talk about the Villager dynamics of the early 80s, perhaps.
Because that is a good...
Yeah,
that's like a key component, I think, honestly, to it.
I think a lot of it, we were just watching a video from Loudwire called Boomers versus Metal.
Great channel if you want, like, if you just want to watch some, like, dumbass, stupid bullshit.
Yeah, but
kill some time.
It's funny how, like, they were, like, one of the people's, look at this record cover, how evil is, and it's like
it's an
the
Ozzy
Ultimate
Osbourne
Sin
record.
by Ozzy Osbourne.
Where he's like a dragon or something.
Some weird worm dragon thing, and it's like, really?
Yeah, the guy's like, I wouldn't want my best friend listening to it.
So we have to remember in context, like this might seem like an Iron Maiden record might seem relatively tame, very tame to us now, but back then, like a parent who is used to like, I don't know, Billy Joel and shit, like being like, oh, what the hell is this shit?
Like, I'm a good Christian woman and or man, like, you know, I can't have my kids seeing this shit.
People had been acclimated, I think, a little bit to like occult themes in music, probably just because of Led Zeppelin, but outright devil worship was kind of new, and I mean,
that's even going back to like Robert Johnson. If you think about it.
There's a self-fulfilling prophecy at work here, I think, because if you have people looking at what today seems like relatively tame heavy metal and they're freaking out about how it's summoning the devil, you're going to get a bunch of antisocial motherfuckers who are like, that sounds interesting. I've wanted to summon the devil for a long time because I'm a mentally ill person.
Yeah.
And then they're going to get into it. They're going to be like, okay, Ozzy Osbourne's fine, but like, what's the next most extreme thing? And they're just going to probably listen to Venom exclusively for too long, which I can tell you from experience will make you evil.
Don't forget, though, Judas Priest, those kids played the record backwards.
Well,
and then they blew their heads
off. And that's why my big take on all this stuff is that the Christians were right. Rock and roll is the devil's music. Metal is the worst one. And I think the way that the black metal story ended in Norway lends credence to that. They were right all along, and that's why I love this stuff.
So we got, as you mentioned, Jake, in the early 80s, we got Neat Records. They put out the first several, I think, Venom records. They put out other new wave of British heavy metal, like lower tier stuff, like Jaguar, Raven, who we've talked about.
How dare you insinuate that Jaguar is a lower tier?
Blitzkrieg too. A bunch of different stuff.
I think Tank was on Neat too. Tank is a better one.
They were like
Witchfind. Witchfind is definitely a rawer sounding one.
That was it seemed to be a label where it was like a stepping stone. Like you put out like maybe a single or maybe an LP on there, and then Roadrunner or something like that would pick you up on the next release.
How about the band Satan? Caught in the Act.
Oh yeah, Caught in the Act.
And those
when was that though? That was
82, I want to say.
Yeah, that was early.
Pretty
I think.
early.
Yeah, early. Wow.
Yeah, that's an early. I used to listen to that a lot, but I think again in terms of things that we would want to highlight that we take for granted now, like the fact that stuff on Neat Records in the UK, again, it's a label we talked about before. The fact that some of it is low budget sounding in the way that a punk record might be, that was new for metal. Like that's not Judas Priest records all sound fucking good as hell. Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, all that stuff sounded really, really good.
Motorhead, even, I would say.
Better. It sounds better than fucking whatever the fuck.
Like Angel Witch.
Yeah. The Angel Witch production's okay.
Angel Witch production's pretty good. The first Motorhead record is pretty rough.
Oh, yeah.
What is? That's like Neat Records production.
Yeah, it is. But we have also the Metal Massacre compilations from Metal Blade. That features like Metallica, Hit the Lights. That's on like one of the first ones.
Is that 82?
82.
Shit. Okay.
You got a lot of different bands kind of coming up.